What's up guys, Wolf here. Welcome to a very special Division 2 build video. In this setup, I'm going to showcase a very unique SMG build that allows you to dish out millions of damage with your SMG from any range. Now, when using an SMG, that's going to be the main problem. You can only really get up close to enemies and beam them out. With this setup, I've spec'd into optimal range, which means not only can I beam enemies from far away with an SMG, but I can make use of the high crit chance that SMGs come native with. And also I can make use of Striker's gear set, which makes this setup not only one of the meta builds, but a very fun and unique and different way to play. So I hope you guys do enjoy this setup. I'll give you a quick overview of how it works, showcase it in detail, and then you guys can enjoy some gameplay. You can use this setup playing solo or in a group from pretty much any range. And the reason why is because in this update, we got an easier way of stacking optimal range. So optimal range is this stat right here. So the Visionario mask now comes with 50% optimal range. What this means is from distance, an SMG will lose its damage. There's a thing called a damage drop off. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but all you need to know is that the higher your optimal range, the more damage you'll get from distance. You won't get that damage drop off. So optimal range is going to be very useful. There's a couple of ways of doing it. But if we look at my SMG, now when you'll see there should be a graph here. So here is the damage drop off. So over there, out of 100 meters, you can see close to 50 meters, you get a damage drop off. So optimal range is going to be perfect for allowing us to do damage from longer ranges, even if you spec into accuracy and stability, which will help you hit shots, because the little marker in the middle of your reticle, or the reticle, will be bouncing around a lot. Now, to keep that reticle steady, you need accuracy. So accuracy is going to be very important for this. Stability is more for like controlling recoil, but SMGs don't normally have high recoil. So accuracy is going to be very important. So if you combine accuracy and optimal range, you're able to do this. This is why I'm able to beam enemies from long distance using an SMG. So that kind of increases it. Now, when we look at diminishing returns, it's kind of up to you. What I would do is just kind of gauge in the firing range or in open world, in a mission, whatever, check and see how much optimal range you're going to be needing for how far you're going to be shooting enemies from. It also depends on how much accuracy you can get. There are some weapon talents like the one I'm using now, which are going to help a lot. So make sure to give all of these things a try, but it's up to you to gauge and see how much accuracy and optimal range you actually need to stack, because there will be diminishing returns there. So just gauge and see, and don't overdo it. So let's take a look at the build as a whole. So optimal range, accuracy, I'm going to be getting that quite simply from the mask and the talent on the gun. So we have got optimal range 50% on the new Visionario mask. There are many different ways of getting optimal range. It's up to you guys to decide which is going to be the most effective and most efficient way of stacking it. But for me, I think using this mask is great. And the nice thing about it is I've combined this setup with the Ninja Bike backpack, which means I can get optimal range in addition to the 50% on the attribute. As you can see now, I have got swap speed and optimal range. So I've unlocked the 2-piece bonus, which is going to further this. Now, you don't have to do this, but I do recommend it because having 50% is good, but if you want to really do some damage, you're going to have to push it a bit further. So I've got quite a lot of optimal range here. So I recommend doing this. And the swap speed is always going to be handy, especially if you like to use a secondary. So that's how I'm going to be getting the optimal range from the mask and the 2-piece Legatus SPA bonus. Then the CMMG Banshee is going to be my SMG of choice. You don't have to go for this gun. There are many different weapons you can use. There's a named one, which I'll show you just now. But this gun is one of my favorite SMGs in the game. Expertise only 8, damage 2 targets out of cover, and then I've got steady-handed. Hits grant a stack of plus 1% accuracy. Now this is how I'm able to beam when I get this stacked up. It's very, very useful. I also get stability, which is all right. It's not too important, but on console, it might be a bit better for you guys. If you're on console, accuracy is going to be really high. At 100 stacks, it consumes them or consumes the stacks to refill the magazine so I can keep shooting. Very handy. And this gun has got quite a large magazine as well. And high RPM, high damage, and we get a lot of crit chance. It's just very, very powerful when you combine optimal range and SMGs, especially with accuracy. So that's how I'm getting all of this. Now, if we take a look at the other SMG that I wanted to mention, because there are other talents you can actually go for. Safety distance, for example. This is definitely viable. After killing an enemy, gain 150% optimal range. this becomes situational. So this gun can absolutely be the one that you use. Definitely go for this. This could work, but it will become more situational. So definitely go for more DPS or more reds if you're going to be using this gun. But it becomes situational. I wanted to try something different because I have made a build using this weapon. So that's why I want to try this to show you that you can use any SMG you want. So if we take a look quickly at the tinkering station. Now, I don't think there'll be anything else that we can go for. Fast hands just adds DPS, faster reload. There is something here I wanted to showcase to you guys to give you an idea of what you can also use. So there is also Outsider. Now, the reason why I haven't gone for this is because you get this after killing an enemy. And what I find is I like to use this setup in more difficult content. If you're going to be playing Heroic and below, this will probably be better. Outsider will work, the perfect Outsider or whatever SMG you want to go for. This is going to be better. But for me, I feel like I need to get kills on legendary, and a lot of the times I get stuck. It only lasts for 10 seconds. So that's why I go for another one. So which is going to be the one that I showcase on my gun now, which is steady-handed. So you just got to shoot your gun and you get accuracy. So I feel like this is just a little bit easier to use, but it's up to you. You can go for either or. Then gunner specialization, armor on kill. It's that simple. 1.3 million armor. Imagine that. I'm doing all that damage with 1.3 million armor. Striker 3-piece, which means I've got the 4-piece because I've got the Ninja Bike backpack. Crit damage mod on here, which means if you get 3-piece, that's a 4-piece, 1-piece, it's a 2-piece, and so on. So Striker will give me all of that baseline weapon damage, which means this is going to be a meta build because I can do such high amounts of damage. You could even go for a Striker's chest. That is absolutely fine because of the high RPM of the SMG. You may even see better results. So that is on you. But for me, I have gone for the combination of Legatus for swap speed, optimal range, and plus that 50% in the tribute roll, plus the Sokolov Concern, which gives me SMG damage and crit damage. There are different gear sets and brand sets you could go for, guys. You can go crazy, have a look, choose what will suit you. There are many, many different options. But for me, I want to get damage straight up from these 4 pieces. Obliterate is going to be my talent, just simply because I can get it stacked really quickly. And if I lose my Striker's chest piece stacked, if I was using Striker's chest piece, which could be really good, then this is going to be very easy to stack. Whereas the Striker's chest piece is very difficult to get stacked and to keep going, especially if I don't have a very strong shield or a regenerating shield. So I'd probably lose my Striker's chest piece, especially on legendary difficulty. So that's why I've gone for Obliterate and this Sokolov Concern chest piece. Simple. Secondary is going to be Scorpio, Orbit Pistol. It's really up to you. Decoy, Shield. So when we look at the modifications, because we're using SMGs, you don't think that you can just use your old Striker pieces. Normally you wouldn't use an SMG with Striker playing longer ranges, obviously. So just make sure you've actually got crit damage rolled on the pieces. So every single modification, I've got critical hit damage. Now, a lot of the rolls will probably have crit damage rolled on it. Like here on the mask, I've got crit damage, chest piece, crit chance, crit damage, holster, crit damage, because it's easier to get crit chance with SMG. Crit chance on the gloves, and then crit chance on the knee pads. Just make sure you're not below 56% if you're going to be using Obliterate on the chest piece, because this relies on crits to get it stacked up. So I'm going to showcase to you just how optimal range works. Just a simple little test. I'm going to put it about 45 on the long distance part of the range, and then we'll have a look at the damage drop off when we actually don't have optimal range. So a simple test, that's pretty far away. As you can see, we're hitting about 530k when we're stacked up. Look how quickly we can kill enemies from this range. It's actually wild. So you can have a look. Yeah, 535k. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this out. So swap speed, optimal range, we're going to lose that. We're going to maintain critical hit damage. I'm just going to put an Umbra initiative with crit damage as well. So it'll keep it pretty close. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. And I'm just going to pop on this right here. And as you can see, we've only got the crit chance bonus. So 535. Let's get this stacked up. You're going to see a significant drop off because of the damage drop off. It's going to be quite a lot less damage. So 535. Now we're only hitting about 200k. And we will struggle to kill enemies, as you can see. So that's how important optimal range is. So stats, because we got high crit chance easily, basically 140% crit damage. 59% crit chance. Don't go less than 56 for blitz rate. Very strong, huge amounts of damage. It just works unbelievably well. We've got weapon swap speed, which is also nice. Some decent handling. This is going to be a setup that if you guys give this a try, I know that you will love it, and it will become one of your main builds in your loadouts. It's just a lot of fun to use, very effective, and it can compete with meta builds in a group or playing solo. You guys can tweak how much optimal range, accuracy, or how many reds you have. That's on you to gauge from testing. But for me, this is going to be the best combination and synergy, or the best combination and balance of the attributes I mentioned in this video. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, enjoy the gameplay, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Peace out.
Got the range!
System malfunctioning.
Dead!
System reactivated.
We lost one! Sight. Coming apart. I got ready.
Incoming hostiles detected.